Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. What day is it today? February number 5. Hey Google, pause music. Guys, today was a powerful day. Welcome back to another podcast. If you are here for the first time, welcome. What we try to do is we try to get in the studio every single day to do a podcast. This started with me sitting down on an episode called Boots Off. But now we're standing up because I feel a lot more energized and I like standing up. I like changing it up once in a while. So if you're new in these podcasts, we talk about a few different things. We're also videoing this, so if you're on Instagram or on YouTube or on Facebook or on... Should we get on TikTok? We definitely should get on TikTok. On TikTok, if you're on any other platform, welcome. I take this time at the end of the day to recollect my thoughts, to tell some stories of what I did during the day, and also to answer some questions that you guys might have. For those of you guys who are totally new and have no idea who I am, my name is Daniel Phillip. I come from a small town in Canada. Right now, I'm in the Philippines. I'm the founder of a company called Atlas Creative Group. We are a global holding company. We build brands, we sell brands, and we also buy brands. This is what we do. This is who I am. And so I travel a lot between our offices. We've got a few different offices around the world. I started this 4 years ago or 3.5 years ago in Australia. I got into e-commerce, I started building brands, and I was crazy. All right, I'm still crazy. I don't know how we do the things that we do, but one thing that I know is I'm loving every single aspect of life, and that's why I want to do these podcasts, because I want to record the things that are happening, the struggles that we're going through, so that I can look back 5 years from now and be like, yo, that's where Dan was. Why was he wearing a black hat, some pearls around his neck, and why does he look like a youth pastor from Hillsong United? I don't know, because we got Lyle, the new fashion designer, and he was like, this is what we got to do, so I trust it. All right, one of the brands that we got going on is the DP, the Daniel Phillip watch. Yes, I do have a watch that is named after me, not because I want to push my name, but because having a watch brand was one of the dreams that I had, and I wanted to create a brand that could help grow who I am, my following, but also speak to people. And I found that when I was doing all the processes and stuff like that, was I could always create a brand with a different name, but I only have one name, so I wanted to make it special. And so we do the watch, and we do a lot of giveaways as well. So if you are on the gram, we give away watches every single day. Sometimes we have whoever has the most creative comment. Sometimes we have, tag as many people as you can as an entry, and we do a random. That being said, get on the gram. Make sure you have the post notifications on so you know exactly when we post a picture, because we're trying to grow, and we're always trying to grow our team, and we're trying to grow everything that we touch and we do. And so we're trying different things on, we're figuring out what time we post in the day reaches the most people, because right now we have like 80,000 or something like that. What's our Instagram count? 81, 83, 80, 82. I guess I could have just checked that on my phone right now. But we, for some reason, we have so many followers, and but our engagement's down. So we're trying to figure it out. We're trying to figure out the systems and processes and things like that. But we're having fun, and everything that we do, we try to help other people. So today was a very special day for me, and this is going to go into our topic. But today was a really special day for a couple reasons. It started out a bit rocky because I didn't stick to my diet 100%, because I worked out this morning. I'm on the muscle candy challenge. I'm supposed to eat healthy, but I slipped up this morning and I didn't eat super healthy. So Jasper has got me going on. I have to do an additional 200 push-ups. I've done 150 or so, and so I got a few more to do. That's on the whiteboard of truth over there. So yeah, we're working on that. But why was today like exceptionally exciting and fun for me was because today was like one of those days where it like things just flowed. All right, time just was a blur and things just flowed. But sometimes you have those days where it's like a blur, but then it's bad, so you have a bad feeling at the end because you don't feel like you accomplished a lot. But today for me was one of those days where that was like totally flow state. And after this podcast, I'm gonna still work. I'm gonna still, the things that I do, it doesn't feel like work for me. And everybody in our company, I try to cultivate an environment where we're doing everything that we love and the passions that we have, so that like some people stay here in the office like way longer than we actually pay them for in our offices in the different countries as well. And the reason is because we are a company of opportunity. We're always trying to create opportunities for everybody. And so one of the exciting things that we did today was I was going around and people were asking me questions, and they're saying, hey, like, how can I do this? And I'm just like, well, you could try this. And then they were like, how to do this? And I'm like, well, you could possibly try this. And then a problem came up, and then I'm like, okay, maybe this is the best way to solve that problem. And it felt like what I was contributing to the growth of our company and contributing to the growth of what today looked like makes me feel at the end of the day like I accomplished a lot. Even though there was not any massive decisions to be made, there was a lot of small decisions. And one of the things I talked about yesterday was like, you got to take action. You got to take action on everything, and it starts with the small things. And so today was pretty cool because there was a lot of small things that we worked on. And now that I think about it, the most exciting thing was I started setting goals like everywhere. All right, like I was just salt baying goals out for everybody. Because when you run a team, if you run a team, or if you are in an organization, or if you ever been in the office wherever that you've ever worked for, like I used to be a barista. I worked in sales. I worked in my dad's farm. I worked in many different areas, and some of the things that I learned just from being in the situations was like, if there was no direction, and I'm sure you guys experience this a lot, if there's no direction, then you sit there and maybe you're scrolling on Facebook, and your life starts to like going to work starts to drain the life out of you. And the reason why, work, quote unquote work, if you go to a job or get paid to work for someone else, or you're working with people, work drains you if there's no goal set in place. All right. So I've always worked, like in the jobs that I worked before, if there was no clear goal and clear vision of like, okay, we're doing this, like almost every time I found myself in a slightly depressive state where I'm just like, what am I doing again with my life? Like, why am I here? And it feels a little bit like I'm being selfish to the people that hired me, but I'm also feeling terrible that I'm not accomplishing anything. And then I'm just like, well, they didn't give me any tasks, so I'm just gonna sit here and maybe I'm gonna work one more hour, but not actually, do anything, because then I can clock out a little bit later. And the reality is it comes from leadership. It comes from leadership. If a leader or someone in your organization is not taking accountability to set a goal, then there's no direction. But I want to say this, okay? You are the leader of what? You are the leader of one thing, and that is your own life. You are the leader of your own life. We are all the CEOs of our own life per se, because we can decide what we do in our own time. We do trade time for money in some aspects of our life, and even I do that as well too, right? Because I have to show up and I have to do things to survive. But the things that we do by ourselves, that's completely up to us. That's our time, all right? And so what we do with that time is very crucial on how our mental, spiritual, and physical health and our being is, and how we live life, and how we can achieve this thing called purpose, like satisfaction, happiness, peace, whatever you want to call it. And you have to start setting some goals for your personal life. So if you never actually thought about setting some goals for yourself, I want to challenge you. Think about, hey, what is one thing that I can do where I can set a goal in my life? And I'm doing this all the time too. And now, like when I started out in business, when I started out in building brands and stuff like that, I was totally lost and totally confused, because every single day I was like, what am I doing? Like, I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm chasing this, and I'm chasing that, and I'm chasing this, and I'm chasing that. And I was very confused, and I didn't have any direction until I finally said, hey, Dan, all right, come down to reality. What do I actually want to do? And then what will I do to actually get me there? And what do I actually want to do? Like, what is a goal? What is something that I actually want to achieve? What is something that I actually want to do? All right. So one of the things that I want to do this year, all right, which is my New Year's resolution, is I want to speak 2 different languages, actually 3 different languages. So I'm Dutch Canadian, I'm Dutch Brazilian Canadian, and I would love to speak Portuguese. I don't even know if I want to pronounce it right, but it's Portuguese, but they say Portuguese. Like my mom, she's Brazilian, and she always, when I was a little kid, she was always yelling at me in Portuguese, pork and cheese. She was always like, "Vixe mafri do céu," like something like that. I don't even know if you're from Brazil, you'll probably know what that means. But she's always saying these sort of things. But I want to learn Portuguese, and I also want to learn Dutch. If you guys are from Holland, goedenavond, heb je goed geslapen? I'm learning 2 different languages at the same time, and I'm also learning Mandarin because I'm always in China. So ni hao if you're from China. But those are the 3 goals. Now, every single day I struggle with these 3 goals. I really struggle. I'm always trying to find time on how to do those different things. And so I'm segmenting my day where I'm working out, I'm learning the 3 different languages, and I'm trying to stick to those goals as best as I can. And one of the things that has been helping me a lot, so when you pick your goals, one of the things, it doesn't have to be New Year's to pick a goal. Like everything is always changing, right? I'm always like coming up and be like, hey, what goal do you want? Hey, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? Do you want to work? Do you want to work in advertising, marketing, customer service, creative, brand building, product sourcing, distribution, like any aspect, right? I'm like, what do you actually want to do? And then we said, okay, what do you want to achieve by that, right? How much money do you want to make? Why do you want to make the money? What do you want to do with the money? And then we set a goal. We're like, okay, if you achieve this, this is what you get. And then break it down like, okay, you need to do this and this and this. I want to learn the 3 languages. I have to put in 20 minutes a day. I already calculated. It's going to take me 2 years to learn those 3 languages fluently if I do 20 minutes a day. That's 60 minutes a day for 2 years. In 2 years' time, if Dan, this is a shout out for me in 2 years. Dan, if you do not know how to speak Mandarin, Portuguese, and Dutch fluently in 2 years, you messed up. All right. So this is another thing that I want to go into as well, and this is what we have with the Muscle Candy Challenge, because we got a couple people in our office doing the Muscle Candy Challenge. I know a few people, you guys listening or watching, you're doing the Muscle Candy Challenge. You want to lose some weight, you want to get your body back in shape. You got to put it out there. You got to pull up the shirt, you got to take the picture, and you got to say, this is where I want to be. So in 2 years, I want to speak those 3 languages fluently. All right. So help me keep me accountable. All right, I'm gonna try to keep myself accountable. That's how you keep yourself accountable. The more you push it out to the world, the more pressure the world is gonna be like, all right, show us what you got. You said you want to do it. Can you do it? Can you do it? If you don't do it, trust me, they'll laugh. I've had this many times. I started a brand back in the day. One of my OG first brands was called Maple Ade. All right, really quick story. I come back from Australia. I almost got eaten by a shark in Australia. So I'm like, I'm going to go back home. I'm going to work on the farm. I'm going to get my life back together. I started sleeping on the couch because I was sleeping in my car for 6 months. I couldn't fit into society. I decided I want to create this amazing brand, but I want to create a brand that actually touches people, and that not only touches people, but helps people. I don't want to create a brand that is like plastic water bottles. I want to create an eco-friendly brand that actually gives nutrients to a person, but then also can help, the environment. Maybe just be like, a sustainable brand. So I come up with this idea because I'm on a farm, and in Canada, it gets really cold. There's 2 weeks in the spring because everything freezes. It's like minus 20, minus 25 in Canada in the winter. If you go up north, it's even colder. There's this thing called the maple tree. There's this thing called maple syrup. Ryle, can you grab the maple syrup from the back? I've got one in my drawer there. I'll show you guys. So to make maple syrup, you have to tap into the tree, and there's only 2 weeks out of the whole year that you can make this baby here, okay? So if you're watching this, you can see this is called pure Canadian maple syrup. We call it the gold, all right? It's the pure gold, all right? Take that off. There's only 2 weeks that you can make this. You have to boil it 40 times to 1. So the thing that I just showed you guys, if you're listening on the podcast, it is a leaf-shaped glass bottle, and it's got the golden juice, the maple syrup. Very, very sweet. You can put it on pancakes, banana pancakes. If you haven't checked out my cover when I was younger, don't look it up, okay? It takes 2 weeks, all right? The drink that I came up with and formulated is taking the sap. So the sap from the tree, when it comes out of the tree, it's not maple syrup, it's maple sap. You boil it 40 times the size that it is. So if you have 40 jugs of maple sap, you boil it down for hours and hours and hours, then it becomes maple syrup. My dad has done this every year. He taps like 40 trees every year for the 2 months, and we have homemade maple syrup, okay? This is like farming. This is pure Canadian farming culture, right? If you don't have maple syrup throughout the year, then you're not living in Canada, okay? You're not a Canadian. I come up with making this drink called Maple Ade. What it is maple sap, all right? So literally from the tree, maple sap with lemon. So it's like a healthy version of lemonade, and it's a little sweet because it's already the sap that comes out is sweet, but it's not super sweet, all right? It tasted amazing. I spent 2-3 weeks on doing it. No, sorry, not 2-3 weeks. I spent like 6 months working on this specific product, but I got it formulated, and it tasted amazing for those of the people that got to try it. Thank you for supporting that dream. They loved it, but it was, I pushed so hard and I shared that to the world, but nothing ever came of it, okay? So let me roll back a little bit. Why am I telling you this story? Well, I'm telling you the stories because in those 6 months, I dedicated every single second I had, and I put that effort into doing this thing. The only reason I put every single effort that I had into doing the specific thing was because I told it to the world. This was one dream I had. I told it to the world. I told it to the world. This is a dream I had. I told it to the world. If you have a dream, tell it to the world, because you're going to be that much more dedicated. Now, the dream might fail. The dream might come crashing down because I'm not it's not a thing. Maple Ade is, in the dust or on ice, I would say. It might come back. We might check it out. You can check it on Instagram. I think I have a few pictures. But that was a huge lesson for me to learn, because I told it to the world, and I wasn't able to pull through on that, which was, hard for me. But I learned a lot of things from that, but I made the right decision to put it on hold. That's not the main point. The main point is, if I did not tell it to the world that I was creating this brand, I would not be able to have put in that much effort into making it a reality. I just wouldn't. It's not possible. It's not possible doing it on your own. So if I didn't tell anybody about the brand, what would have happened was I probably would have worked on it for a month. Instead, I worked it on for 6 months. I got a PO order, which is I got an order from a local health food store. I got it formulated, but it needed so much money to get off the ground. So that's why I wasn't able to push it through, because at the time I was super broke. I put every single ounce of money that I had into doing it, and unfortunately it didn't pull through, but I learned so many things. I learned so many important lessons about marketing, about sales, about building a team, about getting a product, about being persistent, also about sharing the things that you do to the world. So to wrap it up, if you've got a dream, tell it to the world. Tell it to the world as loud as you possibly can. It's very hard to. If you're overweight, it is very hard to take a picture without your shirt on. When I was younger, I was very insecure about my weight, about how I looked. Very insecure. That stemmed from a lot of different other problems. I would swim with the t-shirt on. And if I look back at pictures, I wasn't even extremely overweight. I wasn't obese, but I did have a bit of a belly. Thanks, Dad, for that. It runs in the family. All right. So this is something that I dealt with. It is very hard to put your goals out there, especially if they're big goals. But if you don't put it out there, it's going to be very hard for you to pull through. Very hard. We got a couple people here that are really overweight in our I wouldn't say really, yeah, no, they're really overweight. You guys know who you are, okay? But I'm super excited because they have taken their shirt off. They've taken their shirt off. They've got their picture. They're on the muscle candy challenge. I'm even giving them money if they can lose the weight over a period of time. We're doing it healthy. We're doing it, we're doing it the right way, and with supervision and stuff like that. But they put the dream out there. This is a dream they came up with. This is a dream they wanted. You got to put it out there, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for listening to this episode. I hope it brought a little bit of value into your life. I'm excited to do this every single day as much as I can. Yeah, that's it. Hey, we got a bit of news, but we'll make it short. The coronavirus is crazy. It's still killing a lot of people. The update for the death toll is past 600 now.
490 deaths.
It was 500 yesterday. Was it?
And then more than 20,000 cases.
All right, 20,000 cases, so it's similar to yesterday, but it's just keep on going. There was a doctor who died because of sleep deprivation, and it was because he was working so hard. So don't work so hard. All right, so they're working on the vaccine. Everybody's working hard for the vaccine. Yeah, that's the update. Listen, focus on your health. When something like this happens, a pandemic, they call it a pandemic. When a pandemic happens, when it's a specific disease, like this disease, for some reason, all right, the weakest people always go. That's how life works. All right, so work on your, listen, if there was a zombie apocalypse and there was a zombie running after you and you couldn't run and you hadn't been running for a long time, but I was running, or Jasper, he wasn't, let's say I wasn't running, and then Jasper, he takes a jog every single day, I'm the first one to go. All right, so yeah, work on your immune system, make sure you live a healthy, wealthy, and prosperous life, and make sure you help other people. One thing I was talking about earlier today was, if you cannot, listen, if you're in business or you're building a brand or you want to build a team or you're moving into the area into your life where you start to produce on a higher level, because there's no difference between me and every single person here in the studio. There's no difference between me, Christian, or Ryle, or Jem, or Jasper. There's no difference, you know? I only have had a little bit more experience in my life and the things that I've done, and I've maybe taken a little bit more risk, all right? Nothing. So if you're starting a team, one of the greatest advice that I ever got was, if you cannot give more value than you take, you will not be able to succeed. All right? Today we have this thing called money. I got some rupees here. I just found it in my wallet. I was just in India a few weeks ago. If you can't help make people in your company money and more than everybody else, they're gonna leave. This is reality. All right. Start helping other people out. All right. Start giving some value back. That being said, this was a beauty, but it was a bit longer, wasn't it? Ryle just gave me this. All right. If it's your birthday today, happy birthday. This is a new chapter, a new year of your life. I hope you have a beautiful and powerful day. God bless. Good night.